I got a new plant recently. It's
All
a
right.
Zamioculcas zamifolia, which is a mouthful, so people call it a ZZ plant.
Yeah.
And in the spirit of our podcast, I kind of want to name it Zafira.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. How many plants does that bring you up to?
I lost count. It's around 80.
Oh, God. And
Anyway,
it's not that I think you have a problem.
it's that I actually have a problem.
It's that it's just a fact. Welcome to another episode of Midlight Crisis, a real podcast hosted by three grown-up biologists revisiting books from our teens, and it's totally cool. I am one of your hosts. I'm Sophie, but for the purposes of today's episode, I have a randomly generated fantasy name. And I made it and then forgot it, and then I'm looking at it again, and it's so good. Okay. My name is Edupe Lily Chipper.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Edupe?
It might be a dupe.
A dupe. I like it. A dupe.
Okay.
It's spelled E-D-O-O-P.
A dupe!
A dupe.
A dupe!
A dupe is a character in a children's song who lives in a swamp.
Oh,
It's even more perfect.
it's even better, more accurate. For everyone who isn't the other people on this podcast, in the D&D group, the game we play together, I play an ogre from a swamp. I guess an orc.
Yeah. But dupe is like if you made Bayaga kid-friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's definitely in a song. Like an Itsy Bitsy Spider style song about a dupe Lily Chipper.
Wait. Not a real one, right?
No. No,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. I was like, wait, an actual one? Wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
No,
No,
okay.
I thought we
Yeah.
were being serious for a minute.
Okay.
Oh.
So this is a made
Right.
up one
Gotcha.
in new fantasy nursery rhymes. Edupe
Yes.
Lily Chipper. Okay, got it.
Understood.
What about you guys?
Oh, man. Well, I don't know if I can top that, but my name is Sam. But today you can call me a Zacco Heist Dodger.
Oh my goodness.
Heist Dodger.
Yup.
Everyone keeps trying to get you in on heists, and you're like, nah,
Nope.
not for me.
Oh man, but like if I were in a fantasy book, being part of a heist, that'd be cool. That'd be scary.
She's like, I have no
No.
interest in that. I am far too anxious.
Yeah, you have to dodge them all.
Uh-huh.
Gonna dodge them all.
Gotta dodge 'em all.
The heists just keep coming for you, and you're like, not today.
You're just like, nope. Goodbye. This is like
Not-
reminding me of something I've read before, but I cannot think of it.
I had that same thought.
It's like the character that they try to rope into a bunch of things and then like never does. He always refuses, and then ultimately something so terrible happens that they like have to take part in it. It's probably just like a fantasy trope, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I can think about is Lies of Lochlamora now. So,
Yeah, me
moving
too.
on.
Oh, I haven't read it yet.
Sam.
I
Please.
know.
And I am Hannah, but for the purposes of this podcast, you can call me Qzib Housekeeper.
Oh, Qzib.
Qzib Housekeeper.
All right.
I
That's
mean-
funny that you got just like a thing.
Yeah,
Housekeeper.
it's just like a legit thing.
That's just the title of a thing that people
Yep.
can be.
Yep.
Oh, well, congrats.
Thanks.
You did it.
I did
I
it.
mean, I've seen that before in books where your last name is just like your job. Isn't that a
Yeah.
thing?
Well, that's like an actual thing. That's where a lot
Yeah,
of,
I was like, isn't that an actual
English
thing
last
in
name.
history? That's why there's so many Smiths.
And
Yeah.
Millers.
and porters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats, Hannah. You have a new job, I guess.
Yeah.
So happy for you.
But I hate cleaning.
I know, that's why I think it's really funny.
Damn it. Well, while you ponder that, maybe Sam can tell us what happened in the first of the 2 Aragon chapters we read this week.
Oh man, I mean, the Doom of Innocence really just took me by surprise.
Mhm.
Nothing happened that I predicted at all. And Aragon and Saphira, as expected, make their way back to the house after a night of rest, only to find that the air quotes strangers beat them there and Garrow is in life-threatening condition. Though, by the description that Pellini gives, like, he sounds like he's, like, already dead. But,
Yeah.
alas, it was very vivid. I was just like, this is a children's book! Well, anyways. Aragon then makes Saphira fly them to Caraval, that thing, that city.
Carvajal.
Carvajal, there we go.
Nailed it.
First try.
Where then Aragon is forced to drag Garrow until he sees Brom running towards him, and then he blacks out. And then that's where Hannah takes over.
Yes, in Deathwatch, which is like a hardcore name.
Yeah.
Aragon has a dream about elves and dragons, which is surely not a foreshadowing plot device in the slightest. He wakes up 2 days after after finding Garrow in the house in the hut of Gertrude the town healer, and immediately strong arms his way into visiting Garrow at Horst's house. Horst's house, yes. Garrow's injuries are not healing, and Aragon's story of what happened at the farm doesn't really add up with what the townsfolk found there. Suspicious. Is his story
Sus.
falling apart? Sus.
Super sus.
Super sus. We'll find out later, I guess, because before we resolve that, Saphira has to close out the chapter by waxing poetic about a buck that she caught and ate in the woods.
It was
Very
so
important.
poetic.
It was a lot for like a 3-month-old for sure.
Yeah. It's like so weird because these chapters, the titles are just like so much more dramatic than the contents actually require. Like,
yeah.
because I was going back over like previous chapter titles, and it seems like some of them are kind of chill. Like you have A Miller to Be or Tea for Two. But then you have A Name of Power. It's like, I mean, this chapter, Doom of Innocence, like you could, like, I don't know.
It's too dramatic for what happened. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I understand we're supposed to infer that the house being destroyed and Garrow being on deathbed is like the doom of Aragon's innocence, but at the same time, like it doesn't. I feel like it needs something else. Like the doom of innocence is like it makes it feel like I don't know, like something more dramatic, even though I guess it's pretty dramatic, but we all guessed it was gonna happen. I feel like I'm talking myself in a circle here.
It feels like for a title like that, we needed more like internal strife from Aragon.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. To actually feel like he was contemplating his own innocence, I guess, or like
yeah, like I was sort of expecting a scene of like Aragon finding Garrow and having like a dramatic internal chaos, but he kind of like is dismayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then is like, I have to go deal with this, which like fair, but
very pragmatic. That's our boy. Very pragmatic. I feel like this kind of scene in a lot of other media, the thing that really makes it punchy is getting like a very up close, raw view of the person's guilt.
Yeah.
Because Aragon should be feeling like I was gone, and because I'm gone, my uncle might die, my home is destroyed, like my cousin doesn't have anywhere to come back to when he's done in Therinsford.
Yeah.
And like, for me at least, that's the thing that like really gets me, is getting in the head of the character who thinks that it's their fault that something absolutely horrific has happened to people they love.
Yeah.
And we don't really get that in Aragon's head.
No,
not at all.
No.
Like I'll be interested to see if like later in the book we get more thoughts, but right now we're really just getting what he is saying verbally
Mm-hmm.
out loud, or what he's saying to Saphira. Like, we don't get thoughts, really.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The story is so far seems very events focused,
Yeah.
and it's like this happened, and it was like this, and then this happened, and it's not like, okay, but like, what is the impact of this happening? Why do we
Yeah.
care that this is happening?
Yeah.
Why do we care about the characters that this is happening to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't done a lot of the legwork yet to make you really feel for Aragon or feel like Aragon is suffering and you're suffering with him.
Yeah, especially because, like, I felt that way with whenever Saphira talked here, because she talks like a fully realized adult.
Yes.
And, like, there was, like, we're reading this book so slowly. We should have seen the progression that had happened up to this point in, like, minute detail, because we're reading, like, we're overanalyzing every word. But I was like, where did this person come from? Like, Saphira as a person.
Mm-hmm.
She's just here now.
She just came from the egg as a saucy little dragon.
She did.
Yeah,
Saucy
and
little minx.
it feels like she and Aragon already have, like, a significant relationship that I'm like, when did this happen? Like, they haven't talked to each other.
No.
Yeah. Paulini like really describes Saphira's physical progression, but he doesn't talk at all about her like mental maturation or emotional development or that relationship with Aragon.
Yeah.
You just have to kind of infer that happened.
I wonder why.
I feel like circling back to, oh my god, I've been working in an office too long. Circling back to the chapter title discussion.
Yeah.
The fact that they're called such like epic dramatic things like the Doom of Innocence and Deathwatch, that is 100% what I would have done when I was 15.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like spot on. I would have been like, yeah, Deathwatch, that's so cool, like so epic.
Yep.
This is gonna be awesome. I can exactly imagine his mindset in coming up with these chapter titles as a teenager.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and being a teenage boy and lacking the character development and emotional development of a female dragon sounds about spot on.
Fair, yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Yep. Yeah, because I was looking at Flight of Destiny, and I was like, I feel like just like if you just left it at flight, like that would have been like, you know, kind of punchy, like low key, just like it's what's happening, and it's, you know, double meaning.
Yeah, it has a cool double meaning there. That would be so good.
And then I was like, yeah, but what sounds cooler? Flight of Destiny, definitely.
Flight of Destiny!
Sounds like a Digimon attack.
I was about to say, I said that in my Angemon voice.
So there was a really important moment at the very beginning of the Doom of Innocence when Aragon first wakes up, because he sees Saphira's rows of teeth.
Yay!
Oh.
Plural?
Plural? Yep.
So is she a shark?
I noticed that too.
Yeah. I did not notice that. Oops. I just assumed it was like her top
and
row and bottom row. Yeah.
I mean, it could be, but that's not what he said.
Yeah.
Precision of language is important. If there's anything I learned from reading The Giver.
Yeah, because
it says language.
Yeah, it's like she yawned, flashing rows of white teeth. So it seems like you can only see them when she opens her mouth, which implies like a shark, they're inside the like outer teeth. That's what I think.
Do you want to describe real quick what a shark's teeth look like for people
No, go ahead. That's about as far as I got.
Okay. For anybody who doesn't pay as much attention to sharks as we do as 3 former aquarium biologists, sharks all have replaceable teeth. They can lose their teeth at a rate of like 1 a week, and they grow back. They're continuously cycling through all of these teeth. You can often see up to like 3 to, in some species, 7 sets of teeth, specifically referred to as series, I learned. A series of teeth that all kind of line up towards the one place, but they're like formed kind of loosely in the gum tissue as opposed to actually like within the structure of the jaw. And when one tooth falls out, another one just kind of shifts forward, takes its place, and they cycle through all these teeth. So when a shark opens its mouth, you can see like the functional row of teeth at the front, and then you can also see all of these other teeth waiting to cycle forwards. And it's very cool and kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lose their teeth like all over the place, which is interesting if Saphira is trying to be discreet about her
Yeah,
presence.
right? Just like teeth
Oh.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I do want to say the best extinct shark is this one called Helicoprion.
I knew you were going to say that.
It essentially, like, they've only found the lower jaw of it because really in sharks you only get like fossilized, like the jaw is only fossilized really well because sharks are mostly cartilage.
Mhm.
But they have like only the lower jaw, and it like instead of having the rows of teeth down the inside of the jaw, they like are reversed, and they create this swirl of teeth in like a spiral outside of their mouth, and the ones at like the thickest part of the spiral are the ones that they use, and then they just like curl down over their chin. Yeah, it's a wild time.
It's so weird. I can't
Yeah.
even conceive of how that worked.
Yep.
I mean, I guess it didn't work that well because current sharks are alive and that one is not.
Wow,
Yep.
rude.
Listen. Am I wrong?
I guess not.
She's not wrong.
I'm not
I
wrong.
guess not.
But yeah, this implies that Saphira has teeth like a shark, which also therefore kind of implies that she has to be able to use her teeth very aggressively. Like a lot of mammals, perhaps all mammals, I don't actually know for sure, but I feel like most mammals, at least most other vertebrates, only have a set number of teeth. And you get animals like rodents or langomorphs, I think, like rabbits and hares, where their teeth will grow continuously and have to be worn down, but if you lose that tooth, it doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Whereas sharks kind of go in the opposite direction, and if you lose a tooth, no big deal. But it implies that Saphira has to be able to use her teeth recklessly.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So would that go with like the serrated claws thing, maybe, as like a magically enforced evolutionary choice to make her more capable of her fighting? Because she's always going to have sharp teeth, they're never going to wear down?
Yeah,
Or
maybe.
would it be
Yeah.
that dragons historically hunt just with their teeth and presumably hunt something fairly difficult to grasp or difficult to catch or like hard-bodied or something that would wear down their teeth quickly? Because it could be either of those.
Yeah.
I like the first. Like, I feel like the first. I don't know. It would make sense that it would be an evolutionary advantage if something like that has made it this far in sharks. Why not in other? Well, I was gonna say tetrapods, but a
Other pods.
other pods.
Other vertebrates, I guess.
Yeah. Like, is there examples of land-based predators that have that? I don't think so.
I can't think of any, but that doesn't mean it doesn't
No,
exist.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. But there is a species of reptile that has 2 rows of teeth.
Okay.
The tuatara from New Zealand.
Oh.
They're like a weird species because they're the only species left alive in their lineage. So it like the
Oh.
the rest of the order is extinct. So like they're very unique. They basically like originated in the Triassic period.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they have 2 rows of teeth on their top jaw and then a single row on the bottom. And it like they interlock kind of thing. Like the bottom
Interesting.
one goes in between the top 2.
That is
Cool.
interesting.
Yeah. So it could be something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not like infinite rows of teeth. Maybe it's just like 2 or 3.
Maybe.
Well, I just Googled it, and apparently the phenomenon of having teeth that are continually replaced is called polyphyodont.
Cool.
I assume? A
Yeah.
polyphyodont is an animal whose teeth are continually replaced. And this very short but very helpful Wikipedia page lists many reptiles such as crocodiles and geckos, most tooth fishes, and manatees, elephants, and kangaroos,
Oh.
Oh.
which I would
Really?
not have guessed if you had asked me.
Well,
Oh.
don't elephants' teeth, aren't they're not just continually growing also? Guess not.
Yeah, I don't know. This just says elephants are unusual among mammals because they are polyphyodonts.
Interesting.
But is there
Mhm.
a difference in continually growing? Like it's the same teeth that just get worn down, but they keep growing, and then what's seen in sharks with like having multiple rows of teeth and like brand new teeth growing?
Yeah, so the sharks would be the polyphyodonts as well.
Yeah.
Let me just see what the word is for teeth that grow continuously.
We do our research before the show.
I didn't even
Here.
think of this as a thing, so like
I just wrote it down.
I did some research, but not this.
yeah.
The problem was we don't discuss the specific points we're going to hit because it's
No.
sometimes fun to surprise each other. Okay, there doesn't seem to be, on a quick Google, there does not seem to be a word specifically for teeth that grow continuously,
Cool.
but lots of them
Fair.
do that.
Love it.
So, yeah, anyway, I thought that's interesting.
Yeah.
It is.
Maybe we'll get a moment where Saphira loses a tooth and we'll get some more detail.
Yes. Well, if she has teeth like sharks, the shape of... Oh, this is a lot of S sounds together. The shape of a shark's tooth is indicative of their diet and feeding habits. So if we
Mhm.
get a description of Saphira's teeth, we can figure out, like, what she eats. Which we kind of know already, but we can compare her to a shark and see what she would eat if she was aquatic.
Yeah. I mean, a
So
bunch of
that's
sharks.
fun. We're biologists. This is fun.
This is fun for us. This is how we spend our time.
It's Friday night, and I'm having a great time talking about dragon teeth. Ah.
A lot of sharks have serrated teeth, though. And she super doesn't.
She has
I mean,
serrated
she might.
claws, which still makes no
Why?
sense.
No.
Okay. Speaking of the serrated claws,
Oh.
I have an important moment.
Okay.
So, Aragon finds his uncle, Garrow, and then Saphira flies Garrow back to the village, or part of the way.
Mhm.
And there's a moment where Aragon says he has Saphira pierce a hole with a claw in the
Yeah.
board. Like, okay, if her claws were not serrated, maybe that would be a good thing. But like, it's a board of wood. You try and shove a serrated knife through a board of wood, you're gonna fuck up that board.
Yup.
like if she had regular claws, sure, I'd believe it.
Maybe some of her claws are serrated and some aren't.
But why would some be serrated?
Yeah.
I
What
don't
would
know.
be the advantage of having like one serrated index claw?
Yeah.
For slicing your food and grooming your skills.
But she eats it. She eats it whole.
For cutting your enemy. Maybe she's like a velociraptor, but instead of one like really curved toe, finger, nail,
Yeah.
claw.
Uh-huh.
Jesus
Claw.
Christ. Instead of one really long claw, she just has one serrated claw
Yeah.
for cutting through the mail of her rider's enemies on the
Yeah.
battlefield.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Sure thing.
I don't believe this, but
Nope.
apparently I
But
want
you
to
said
defend it.
I feel like he just made her claws serrated because it was cool.
Serrated claws.
So cool.
It's so
Yeah.
cool. It doesn't have to make
It's-
sense because it's cool.
Yeah, but that's why we're here.
Yeah.
To call you out when it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
We're we're here to come in and be like, well, actually, the physiology of this dragon is not consistent.
One day I'm gonna
we're
write a
so
book
annoying.
and someone's gonna do this to my book and I'm gonna be like, fuck you guys.
I'm gonna
Me and
be so
Hannah are gonna
offended.
do it to your book
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I hate this actually. Cancel the podcast.
Yeah, stop.
Yeah.
This is one of many reasons why I hope the authors of our books never listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
I swear we do actually like the books we read, or at least we like them when we started.
Yeah, we liked them when we were teens.
Yeah.
That's for
well,
sure.
We really liked Twilight when we
Sam,
were teens.
yeah,
Sam.
don't sit there and tell me you didn't like Twilight when you were a teen, Mrs. Edward Cullen.
fine. Don't like them as an adult.
That's
No.
fair. There was another interesting moment, like at that same point where he's talking about like her punching a hole in the board. That was just interesting to me because like it was very not cavalier with Saphira's biology. I sort of expected him because Saphira presents him with the thought that maybe Garrow could be like hanging under her while she flies with him.
Mhm.
And so I sort of expected him to be like, oh, and she grabbed the board or Garrow in her like front claws and carried him.
Mm-hmm.
Which last time we mentioned like the serrations, no fun. but like he specifically says that Aragon like ties the board to her front legs, not that she's holding it.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that she like doesn't have that function out. Like she doesn't have hands. She has like paws.
I definitely thought of it as like a grip strength kind of thing. Like she just wouldn't
maybe
be strong enough to hold on to it for that long.
Because like if she doesn't have, we talked about this also, but if she doesn't have like the claw facing back,
right,
then she effectively doesn't have a thumb.
Yeah.
And wouldn't really be able to hold things.
True.
I can't imagine she has a thumb.
Right?
Like that, for some reason that doesn't drive with me.
No.
Yeah, and it's also that, especially, so like even if she does have the sort of claws front and back, sort of like a perching bird or something, you need like specific design of your quote unquote wrists to be able to like turn your claws or your hands like inward, like the way humans can be like palm up or palm down. Like not a lot of things can do that.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Like dogs can't really do that, but cats can because they use their claws to like grab.
Right. I'm imagining doing that with my feet now, and it's kind of horrifying.
Yeah. Right? So like it'll be interesting to see if he keeps to that. Like can Saphira like supinate and pronate her wrists? So they talk about that a lot in Dinosaurs. That's why I know the words.
Yes. I just saw the like redux of your tweet screaming about supinating theropod arms.
Yeah, because theropods wouldn't have had their hands like facing down like they show in all the movies. They would be facing inward as though they're clapping.
Right. Can you real quick give us a definition of pronate versus supinate?
Yeah. The way to remember it is supinate is as if you're holding a bowl of soup.
Okay, so they face in.
So they face up and in, and
down?
pronate is down, yeah.
Okay.
Soup.
Soup.
That's a good way to
Very
remember
easy to
it.
That is a good way, yeah. I'm making
Yeah.
that gesture now.
Exactly. Supinated.
You're assuming that Saphira has pronated?
Yeah.
Paws? Feet?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's a paw called on a lizard? I guess just a foot?
Yeah.
Lizard paws?
Lizard paws. Aw.
You know those lizard paws?
Oh, I love it.
It's cute.
What makes something a paw and not a foot?
They're cute.
This is... it has fur on it.
Yeah. That's why tarantulas have paws.
Right.
Because they got those fuzzy legs.
Yeah. And that's why fish don't have paws. No other reason.
They're not cute. They're fins.
They don't have fuzzy little feet.
Yeah.
They just don't have feet at all.
I will fight to the death to anyone who tells me that a wolf eel is not adorable.
They
cute. Are cute, but they don't have
got little paws.
Doesn't mean that they're not cute.
No.
I agree. What were we talking about?
I don't remember.
Have no idea.
Okay.
Absolutely no clue.
Okay, so at the beginning of Deathwatch, Aragon has like a dream.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Aragon dreams the end of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like he wakes up and he's like, spoilers.
The movie won't come out for another couple of years.
Right? It's like a bunch of people it's a bunch of elves getting on a boat to go to the faraway land or whatever
Oh
the
my
hell,
god.
right? And
Yep.
someone stays behind, and his name is Sam. And he's sad that
Ah!
Frodo
Yay!
left.
Oh no. What about
Right?
the dragon? How do the dragons fit in?
That's the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
Tolkien doesn't really have. Oh, no, he's got Smaug. I forgot it was Smaug.
Oh yeah, he does have a dragon.
Yeah.
You got worms.
Worms.
Smaug.
Smaug. Oh my.
Smaug.
That's one of those names that just sounds so bad in our accent.
Yeah.
It's just like untenable.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's fun to read, not fun to say out loud.
No. The worst. I was kind of assuming that this was like some kind of egg memory of Saphira's. I don't know why I assumed that.
That's also what I assumed.
Okay. We know elves had her from the
Yeah.
prologue.
Yeah.
And if we're if we're taking my assumption that she's aware of what's going on outside of her egg as canon before
Yeah.
it gets confirmed, then she would have been aware of like whatever the elves were doing before they ended up in the spine, or not in the spine, I guess.
Yeah.
Before they ended up getting chased by a shade through the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for some reason I assumed, because like it's a bunch of people get on a boat, and then there's a guy who's left behind who makes a sad sound, and then there's dragons in the air. It's like it's just hard because I read this book, so anything
Yeah.
that I'm like, oh, I'm getting this vibe, that it could
Yeah.
actually be that's what I'm remembering, but like I feel like it's Aragon, the original one.
That's what
Oh.
I thought. I thought he was having like a flashback to like
Yeah.
OG Aragon, and like somehow they're
Yeah.
connected, so he was having like a flashback.
Yeah?
I mean, I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. I was thinking one of the people was Arya, who we haven't met yet, but she comes in.
Is she an
Mhm.
elf?
She's an elf.
Is
And
she
like,
the love
I
interest?
remember she's an elf lady. Maybe.
Is there a romantic subplot?
Yes.
That's how we keep Sam on board, Hannah.
Oh, true. One of the few things I remember about this romantic subplot is that it pissed me off as a kid.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like just like it will today.
Yeah. So I'm not looking forward to seeing it again, especially now that I'm not 15.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Anyway, we'll find
Like-
out who was in this vision, dream, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. I like when people describe, like here in this vision, he describes them as being on proud horses.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever people like describe horses as like proud, I'm just like, horses are idiots. Like,
To me, that is like shorthand for you're supposed to imagine them doing that thing where they like arch their neck and have their head facing or pointed
Yeah.
straight down.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very proud. I just
Yeah.
literally yesterday, a friend of mine from high school is a farmer, and she posted on Facebook yesterday about her horse who like ran to say hello to her, tripped, like did a full front flip, and then got back onto his feet because she had food. And just like barreled into her. And I was like, yeah, proud horses.
I love that energy. I respect that horse energy.
Yeah, me too.
Horses, so graceful.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So what is the most proud animal? My immediate instinct was cat because they don't want you
Yeah.
to see them being stupid ever, even though they
Yeah.
always are.
I was gonna say lion,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
which is also just a cat. Just a
Yep.
big cat.
Or like an owl, maybe? Some kind of like bird of prey.
Yeah, I was gonna say just like any male bird.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They're very full
Yeah.
of themselves, aren't they?
Yeah, just a lot of shouting, a lot of strutting around.
Just like, look how great I am.
Look how great I am.
Come have a
Come have
baby
sex
with me.
Yeah, that would be my vote.
You know that bird of paradise that it's like mating display is it turns into like a neon blue smiley face and
Yeah.
dances around and clicks.
Yeah,
So proud.
so proud. I mean, you gotta have all kinds of confidence to pull
That's
that
true.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If someone tried to do that to me, if they were able to pull it off, I'd be like, damn, that's one
Yeah.
respectable bird fellow.
Yeah. Just really going all out.
Just really going for it.
Speaking of birds,
Uh-huh.
I kind of want to talk about the dragon's wings again.
Okay.
Okay.
Just because right at the beginning of the first chapter, Aragon mentions like the membrane of the wing
Mhm.
that is like being a tent for him. Because, like, what's up with dragon wings?
Yep.
Previously, he had described the wings as like ribbed with thin fingers of bone that extended from the wing's front edge, forming a line of widely spaced talons. And so there are like two groups that have like membranous wings, which we've kind of talked about, right? Pterosaurs and then bats.
Mhm.
I like didn't know this. For some reason my brain just autofilled that bats have claws on all of their fingers on their wings, but they don't.
It's just the outer one, isn't it? Or
Yeah.
They
yeah.
have like a wrist claw, sort of.
Yeah, so like they have the one at like the peak there,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which you always see in like gargoyles or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The thumb claw. Some species, the like flying foxes, have like the first claw. The first finger also has a claw on it.
Oh.
But other than that, like bats don't have claws on the end. So we can confirm Saphira's not a bat.
Okay.
Mhm.
Chuck that one off.
Although there was an extinct bat that did have claws on all of its little fingers. I almost said all of its little
Aw.
fingies.
All of its little fingies. I wish you did.
So
Grown up
Saphira-
biologists. Little fingies, a technical
Little-
term.
little fingies.
Guys, I stare at baby fish all day. Like, come on.
Fingies.
Do they have fingies?
No, they have little bitty finnies.
Aw, tiny.
Tiny.
So actually, Saphira could be an extinct bat.
Good.
Better than a moth.
Better than a moth. We're still not
True.
ruling that out.
I hate moths. Why does it always have to be moths?
Always moths.
At least
It's
it's not
always-
Parasites.
Everything
Yet.
a parasite.
No, not
you
yet.
know what's the worst thing in the world? A parasitic moth. And I'm
Yeah.
sure that exists.
Yeah,
Sure
Oh.
they're
does.
vampires.
Ugh.
Uh,
I feel that way about parasitic wasps. The phrase parasitic wasps sends a tingle down my spine and a lisp through my tongue.
No, it's all bad.
Just the worst.
They just got those very long, like, ovipositors that I just
Ugh.
hate.
Not a fan of those.
Why?
Just
Anyway,
oviposit somewhere else.
oviposit out of here. Oh yeah, I did also want to confirm that with this, we also know that the dragons are not pterosaurs because pterosaur wings, unlike bats, which are like the fingies,
The fingies.
all of them.
Uh-huh.
Pterosaurs, it's only the last finger.
Okay.
So they fly on like the last finger, and all the other fingers are still like a hand
Oh.
kind of thing. So they walk
Okay.
on the thumb and first three fingers, and then the wing is the fourth finger.
Ah,
So they
gotcha.
don't have little
Ooh.
fingies out through the membrane.
Aw.
Little fingies.
Yeah, unfortunately. Dragon is not a pterosaur.
So far the dragon is most likely an extinct bat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Or, based on the egg, a nematode.
Sophie.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, before we get into that, I realized that because Saphira takes Aragon into the spine to the specific place where he found her egg, which is interesting, and then when they are going to fly back to Carvajal, it says that they reach it the same day in, quote, early afternoon, which means I'm pretty sure in one of the earlier chapters, we get like some sense of the distance that Aragon's home is from where he found the egg in the spine.
Yeah.
So I think we could math Saphira's maximum flight speed. Because she's like working
Ooh.
pretty hard. I didn't do it. because I thought about it for like 2 minutes and decided I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But I think we could. So that's fun.
AKA
Yeah.
Sophie can.
Yeah, look out for that in a future episode where I have more to give for math.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting that which chapter is that one? Oh, the Doom of Innocence. In the Doom of Innocence, and then also in Deathwatch, we are able to get like kind of a sense of Saphira's maximum flight speed and like maximum carrying capacity at this stage in her development, because she like really, really struggles carrying both Aragon and Garrow. Like she seems to be
Yeah.
fine with just Aragon, but she can't even make it all the way to town carrying the two of them, and they set down a league outside of Carvajal, which, for those who have forgotten, is 5.5 kilometers. And Aragon freaking drags Garrow on his pallet almost all the way to town on his, like, shredded sandpaper legs. 5.5 kilometers. Like, damn.
That's so
I wouldn't
far.
do that.
Nope.
He must have the wildest infection if he has no skin
Right?
on his legs and
Yeah.
he's like sleeping in the dirt and like tramping on the road in dirty clothes and digging through his burned and destroyed house. Like all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff is going to get in there. Skin is really important for protecting you from infection.
Yeah, also, like, what's even on Saphira? We don't know. She's been murdering
Oh,
animals all
God.
over the place.
Yeah.
Does she
But-
clean herself?
Yeah, how does she bathe?
Oh, God.
Just
Okay, but
sheds.
also...
She sheds her skin?
Oh, she must.
Huh. Do crocodiles or crocodilians do that? This
Oh.
might be for another time.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
We'll get to that later.
I don't remember if he hurt his legs beyond like the thigh chafing thing, but I was like, he made a crutch. And I was just
Yeah.
like, my dude, a crutch is not going to help you.
Yeah, I
Like-
was wondering about that too.
It's like, even if it's helping you walk, you're still gonna be like, oh my God, it makes me cringe just thinking about it. Because I've had leg chafing and it's the worst. And it's like,
Yeah.
So bad.
just a, well, I can't even say it. Why did he make a crutch?
I
Like,
Yeah.
literally don't know. I'm like
No
assuming
use.
he has basically road rash on the inside of his legs,
Awful.
which is horrific and I never ever want to experience.
Yeah.
But like, I am astounded that he is not like in the throes of a horrific infection.
Yeah. It could be coming. It's only been like 12
could be.
hours.
That's no.
I
he,
have a
he
feeling
wakes
it's
up 2
not
days
coming.
later in Gertrude's hut, so it's been
Oh,
at least
yeah.
48 hours.
Right.
Plus the evening that he slept in the dirt under Saphira.
Ugh.
That's a good point.
Maybe Saphira's skin has like magic healing bacteria
Magic
instead of
healing.
deadly
Yeah.
skin-eating bacteria.
Yeah.
Maybe this is part of the like physical changes that come with being a dragon rider. Like maybe it makes you heal
Oh.
faster.
Maybe.
We haven't seen anything to suggest that yet, but
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
that could be a thing. Maybe he has a super immune system from his many years working the farm and hunting in the spine.
I mean, even that has its limits. With
Yeah.
like how like beat up I'm imagining the inside of his thighs, I'm just like, ugh,
Yeah,
there's no way.
there's no way. No.
He needs some penicillin.
Maybe they have like, fantasy plants that
Just, like,
Yeah.
slap some moldy bread on that man's thighs.
yeah, get it on there.
You just imagine putting 2 pieces of bread between his legs, and that's how he's walking around.
That'll fix you right up.
Oh,
just- Got it.
nailed it.
Awful. I hate it.
Yeah, it's the worst.
My thighs literally have chills just like thinking about this and talking about it. Like, it is just such a nightmarish thing to think about.
Yeah.
I've only gotten like leg chafing to like the average amount because usually I stop it before it can get really bad. So it's just like the thought of it. This poor dude.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's truly one of the most gruesome things we've discussed on this podcast.
Yeah.
Parasites accepted.
Yeah. Parasites are, just nature doing its thing.
Sophie, you had a parasite.
Yeah. And this is how I deal with my trauma.
So cool with having that
So
parasite up in
cool.
there.
It was great.
Ugh.
Speaking of horrible microbes,
Oh, no. I don't
just
want
no, it just mentioned that Garrow smells like rotting fruit.
to. Okay.
And I was like, I don't know, maybe that's something.
Yeah.
So I just did just a real quick dive into why does rotting fruit smell the way it does? So rotting fruit smell is like a byproduct of mold or bacteria like breaking down the food.
Okay.
But there's like a theory out there that it is also like a chemical signaling to keep us off of food that the microbe wants to eat,
Oh, whoa.
like to deter other animals, which I just thought
Cool.
was fun.
So whatever's feasting upon Garrow is like real territorial about it.
Yeah, is like a microbe. Like I don't know why he smells like rotting fruit.
That is weird.
Like
Yeah, I didn't catch that somehow, but
yeah, like it implies that like his burns or whatever aren't right. Like the implication is that the burns are some weird magic thing, right?
yeah, because they
But
won't heal.
yeah, so I'm wondering if like the rotting fruit smell is going to come up again as like any time the shade does magic
Hmm.
on someone, if it leaves behind maybe like a smell.
Oh, maybe.
That would be
I don't know.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope we find out more about that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my brief aside.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about this one.
That's fine.
Me
Um,
neither.
I did have one question
Oh no.
about Aragon's chafed legs.
Yeah.
Like, that, how do I put this delicately? There's like more than just leg skin down there.
Mm.
Oh.
Like,
Like what? What's the sitch down there?
yeah, what's the sitch?
We can only assume that it's hurt.
Yeah.
Since you guys wanted to talk about Edward's all the time, I assumed you wanted to talk about it here too.
Okay, Edward is 100 and whatever years
Yeah.
old. Aragon is 15.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I know.
Mm-hmm. A little
Yeah.
less comfortable talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not
teenager.
comfortable. I'm not cozy right now.
My other pitch is that maybe we have a trans protagonist on our hands and we're just all gonna have a great time with it.
Oh.
I mean,
but they would still hurt.
still be
Like,
It would
chafed up
still
down
hurt.
there.
I feel
Have
like
you
it
ever
would be.
gone for a run wearing a pad? Because that. Oh
it's
my god.
Why would you do that?
awful.
Why would you
Because-
do that to yourself?
I am like on board with trans Aragon.
Yeah. We'll just say that's our theory, our working theory for right now.
Yep.
Cool.
I just feel like when you're like chafed to hell on your thighs.
Can we stop talking about this?
Maybe we can talk about what happens next time, Sophie, please.
Sure.
Please.
Okay, great.
Please take me away from this.
Let's talk about what's gonna happen next. The next two chapters are The Madness of Life and A Rider's Blade.
Oh wow.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he's gonna get some sort of sword in the Rider's
Yeah.
Blade. And
Yeah.
the madness of life, Garrow is either gonna like pull a miraculous recovery or he's gonna die.
Yeah. And Aragon's gonna have survival guilt, and that's the madness of life.
Yeah. That's my guess. Based off like kind of how these chapter titles and has been going so far.
Yeah.
They're very dramatic, as we have expected.
Yes.
Oh, we didn't talk about how Aragon ends another chapter in this segment unconscious, but don't worry. I mentioned it just now. He passes out at the end of the Doom
That's
of
how
Innocence.
you know. Yeah, that's how you know the chapter's over.
Yeah.
Aragon goes to sleep.
Yeah. I don't know if passing out counts as falling asleep, but he does wake up at the beginning of the next chapter, so I'm counting it.
Oh, I think it says he went to sleep.
No, he passed out on the road when Brom found him.
Oh, but the next chapter he falls asleep.
Great.
So he passes out in the first chapter, but then falls asleep in the second chapter. So don't worry.
Because every chapter has to end in some sort of
Sleepy
unconsciousness.
Mhm.
Wow, I said unconsciousness weird.
Consciousness.
Our
Okay.
consciousness.
Man, it's way easier to guess what's going to happen next in this book.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Sam, having never read it, she can usually pull
Yeah.
off a good guess.
Hells yeah!
I feel like the fact that the chapters are so short that you know only one thing is going to happen in them makes it a lot
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind. I like short chapters.
Like, spoilers, the next chapter is 1 page.
Oh,
is
is
it
it?
really?
Yeah.
Hells yes.
Okay, so Garrow's gonna die, and that's
Yeah, and that's it.
That's
the chapter.
definitely the madness of life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We predicted it.
But yeah, anyway, let's talk about what other stuff we're reading. I just started One Last Stop, finally, and I am very much enjoying it. It's good. It's good. I like Casey McQuiston's work. They do a really good job. I know it's not for everybody, but I really like it.
That's fair.
It's pretty cute.
It's pretty
Yeah,
cute.
that's all.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I'm reading right now.
I am currently reading The X Hex, which is a Halloween themed rom-com that looks adorable. I'm only like 2 chapters in though, so don't ask me more. And then for audiobooks, because I sit at a microscope all day, I finished listening to How Harry Met Harry, which is an Audible original audiobook, a cute little rom-com. And now I am listening to the Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green, which is like 10 out of 10. I love John Green. He's great.
Dang.
Cool.
Yeah, he narrates it himself. And like, I don't know if were you guys ever like John and Hank Green fans?
No.
Oh, fair. I was. I loved the Vlog Brothers growing up. Anyways, it's just like nice to listen to John Green narrate his book, and it's a really good book. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that one.
It's basically like he's going through major events of the Anthropocene and how they relate to like his life, and then he gives them a star rating at the end of each chapter. And then he goes into the fact that like star ratings were only created because computer algorithms couldn't manipulate any other type of data. Like they needed some sort of data to spit out information for capitalism, obviously, and that's where star reviews came from. Anyways, love that, geeked out, you know.
Stats, Sam's favorite.
Stats.
Yeah. So, Hannah, what about you?
Yeah, I've been listening to Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, which is the most aggressively average YA fantasy you could imagine. It's wildly predictable and not very interesting to me personally.
But
I'm gonna finish it because I gotta.
Yeah.
Gotta. So, and you'll probably read the rest of the series too.
I don't know. Every time I start listening to it, I end up rolling my eyes. So I might have to skip the rest of this one, but we'll see. So yeah, if you're a grown-up and that one's on your list, you could probably move it down and prioritize something else. Be my recommendation. But in paper, I'm reading Under the Whispering Door, finally, by TJ Klune.
Yeah.
Which is delightful. I very much like TJ Klune. So far, it is like very consistent with the style he established in The House in the Cerulean Sea. So if you like that one, I feel like you're probably going to like this one too.
Nice.
I'm so excited.
It's going to be good. And then I think, listen, we're recording a bunch of episodes at once. I think this one's coming out in November, which means at some point around the release date of this episode, we will all be reading our Midlight Book Club book of the month, which is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I am stoked about because I loved The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and I love Malibu Rising. And I think this is set in the same kind of Riva-verse. So it's good to be good.
Yeah.
So, with all that said, if you liked this chapter of Midlight Crisis, consider rating and reviewing us on iTunes or your podcatcher of choice. You can talk to us and find fun-related content on social media. We are at Midlight Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and all chapters of the show thus far are available on our website, midlightpod.podbean.com, and on YouTube.
And, like us deciding to carry on a podcast when we're all out on fieldwork for months at a time. Into foolishness we fly!
Uh,
Yeah.
Too
Yeah.
accurate.
so
Yeah.
accurate.